There's an age old question: do fine character traits passed down from generation to the generation by nature or by nurture? In this week's Torah portion, we may have an answer to this question. The Torah tells us that a Jew is not allowed to marry anyone that comes from the nation of Ammon or Moab. Now, these two, and that's even if they convert. In other words, they became Jewish. As long as they came from the nation of Ammon and Moab, you're not allowed to marry them. And the Torah gives the reason, because when the Jews were traveling through the desert, they were in need of certain help, provisions, different things they needed. And these two nations could have helped, and they refused to help the Jews when they needed them. And because of that, that showed that by nature they're cruel, and therefore even 10 generations later, or never, there's no way you can purge that negative nature that is ingrained. So that tells us, on the one hand, that character traits, whether you're kind or you're cruel, is ingrained as part of your DNA. Does that mean you don't have to nurture good character traits? Of course you do. The Jewish people were told, the Gemara tells, the Talmud tells us, we are a people that are characterized by kindness, compassion, and humility. In other words, we have it within us from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's part of our DNA to be kind, to be compassionate. And indeed, the world knows that about us. And that's why they rely on us. And we have risen to the occasion over and over to help people in need, even if they're not our own, whatever they were, any color, creed, race, it didn't make a difference. But that doesn't mean that if you don't nurture this character trait, that it's just automatically going to be manifest in the next generation. It won't. Nature can be, you can have something naturally, but if you don't nurture it, it remains concealed. It remains hidden, it remains behind, in the recesses of your heart, but you don't really manifest it. Parents have to nurture this nature of kindness, of compassion in their children. You have to teach your children to give charity. You have to teach your children to give up your bed for someone else, for someone that's a guest or whatever it may be. Invite people to your home, to be kind, to be a mensch, to be a good person, good character traits. As the old Jewish way of life, it didn't come just by nature. It came by a lot of nurture. Our parents cared for that, and they taught it to us. So yes, we have a tremendous advantage that in our DNA we had a father called Abraham, and he ingrained within us naturally the tendency to be kind. And that's why the world puts us on a pedestal. They hold us to a higher standard. We welcome that as long as the standard is livable. Sometimes they hold us to a standard that is unpractical. But a higher standard by all means, because we do have that. But parents, teachers, educators, you cannot rely on that. You have to nurture that nature. You have to teach your children the right way. I want to conclude with a story. I heard this from the chief rabbi in Russia, that President Putin once told him that what made him have an affinity for the Jewish people, and he's helped the Jewish people over the last 20 years in a very big way. And he said when I was a child, my parents didn't have much, and I was always hungry, looking for something. And I had a Jewish neighbor who was a Hasidic Jew, and they used to bring me into their house. They used to bring me out sandwiches, cookies, whatever they had. They would share it with me. They'd take care of me. And I grew to love that aspect of the Jewish people, as many other aspects as well. But that stuck out. That really made an impression on Putin. And he remembered it till today. And we're benefiting from that kindness. But that's in our nature. That's just who we are. Nurture that wonderful nature. Shabbat Shalom, and have a wonderful week.